Man, do I love a pop. Doesn't make any sense out of context, but I will happily sit there and watch crowd reactions all day long. I'm a weird dude. As so much has changed in recent times though, how about we drag some modern day noise into one of these lists and talk about some of the loudest cheers in WWE history. Sound good? Excellent. I'm Simon Miller. Let's go. Number 10, CM Punk at the 2023 Survivor Series. Because hell flippin' froze over. Even though CM Punk had returned to wrestling with AEW, even after he left, many thought it would be hard for him to come back to WWE. There was just so much history there. It's why when the Survivor Series rolled around, we still all questioned it. Even though Punk was now a free man and the pay-per-view was in Chicago, it just seemed too perfect. But that nagging sense of doubt wouldn't go away. Turns out WWE realized they would never get an opportunity like this because, yep, even though we had the copyright graphic to signal the end of the show, Cult of Personality hit. My gosh, this place lost it. You could barely hear the music, it was so loud as the never say never catchphrase was brought back to the forefront again. I tell you, my friends, anything is possible. I suppose it proved that this was the right decision because only megastars can spark this sort of reaction. And I tell you, it really was something special. Number 9, WWE Backlash. Just in general. France brought it. This happened in 2024, which sort of summed it up. WWE has been so sparing with taking its bigger shows outside of America that when Lyon got one, they were going to make the most of it. What if they never come back? It was so loud in the arena at one point, WWE said they got complaints from outside the building, and I believe it. Go and watch Jey Uso's entrance, pretty much the whole of Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles, or just the opening promo. Everybody in that place had lungs for days. It made Backlash feel like some sort of mega event too, which was awesome. While we may categorize this as a B pay-per-view, premium live event, this sent it to the stratosphere and made every moment feel massive. More of this, please. It has become somewhat of a theme now as WWE does do this more and more, so let's keep it going. Makes wrestling so much more fun. It's the whole point to begin with. Number 8, John Cena returns. John Cena has made a habit of this lately. You just never know when he's going to turn up. He did this at the Money in the Bank 2023 when he sent the O2 Arena in London into meltdown. This was the same 2 years earlier at the same event. That was even more surreal. For Roman Reigns had just defeated Edge in the main event to retain his Universal title. We all thought that was that. Roman would march on as had been the way. Just as WWE teased this, however, Cena's trumpet started, which sounds weird, and from nowhere, the man who can't be seen was back. The fans lost it. The fact it came after the Reigns match just added to the hoopla because the crowd also realized that this was the Tribal Chief's next opponent. Who didn't want to see that? Well, there's that one guy, but go away. I would guess those in the building that night too were learning about where we were headed as well. With more and more success, WWE didn't have to advertise everything, meaning surprise joys like this could be a more regular thing. It's kind of the way you want wrestling to be. Number 7, that Bad Bunny entrance. So it is Backlash again. What a run this pay-per-view is having. We do go back to 2023 here, and we were coming live from Puerto Rico, and local hero Bad Bunny was well into wrestling, so why not push our hands together? It was the right move. Even though everybody knew a match with Damian Priest was on the cards, people were so into the music star they lost the plot. It was as if Santa Claus had arrived and promised everybody free pizza for life. It really made the whole thing feel like a moment, and while Bad's entrance was the highlight, the noise remained high for basically the whole thing. You can't beat everybody singing his song, however. Talk about a moment where you know you've made it. It's all the evidence you need. Number 6, Shawn Michaels in Canada. Well, this one got me good. I guess you do gotta take your hat off to one Shawn Michaels. Given the happenings of the Montreal Screwjob, the Heartbreak Kid was always going to be public enemy number 1 in the city, which was true when Raw rolled through in 2005. HBK was also a heel at this point. The fans hated this guy. "You screwed Brett" rang out throughout his promo as Michaels deliberately wound them up, and man did he take glee in it. Sure, he dicked over Bret Hart all those years ago, but you know what? He would do it again. The boos rained down. Clearly WWE had prepared for this response too, because just as Shawn really started hammering this home, Hart's signature guitar entrance theme echoed over the PA, and good grief. These Canadians went mad, as did I. I truly thought we were going to see it. Turned out Michaels was just being a master troll for the evening, because this was done to get extra heat. Let's just be honest here, it totally worked. It really would have been the impossible becoming possible, so it's a nod of the head for this one. If your job is to get under people's skin, you couldn't have done it any better than this. I still remember it today. It totally worked me. Number 5, Triple H gets that mega pop. So this one is just in wrestling lore these days. It was awesome. Triple H had hurt himself in 2001 where he tore his quad, and let's not forget this timing sucked. I mean, there's no good time to get hurt, but Hunter and Steve Austin were about to go on a tear as the two-man power trip. That was going to be wonderfully ridiculous. Sadly, during a tag match, the game's leg did go, and this was serious. We weren't even halfway through the year, and we weren't going to see this man again till 2002 at the earliest. Many doctors even told Triple H he would never wrestle again, but like all of these warriors, he rehabbed the hell out of it for 8 months following surgery, which brought us to Monday Night Raw at Madison Square Garden. Fair play to WWE as they went all in on the return video packages, so when that Motorhead power chord hit, my gosh, New York went crazy. You can see in Paul Levesque's face it's impossible to try and stay calm, and the sheer energy of the whole thing is brilliant. You couldn't ask for a better comeback. Trips was also built like a wall, which I personally liked a lot, and this is just legendary stuff. Once again, it was executed near perfectly. Number 4, Bulldog wins. This one gets a little bit lost just because we were in an open-aired Wembley Stadium. The sound you hear does not do it justice. That's because when the British Bulldog did hit the most devastating move in all of sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up onto Bret Hart to win the Intercontinental title, London became unglued. The hometown hero had done it. 80,000 individuals then simultaneously jumped to the skies with utter glee. It's exactly what the WWF should have done. It's made even more impressive due to the fact that Davey Boy Smith was totally out of it during the time, forcing the Hitman to walk him through the whole match, but nobody cared. Sometimes the simplest plans are the best. It's also a SummerSlam classic in its own right, but the atmosphere really does propel it to a different level entirely. I suppose there was a thought that maybe the Bulldog wouldn't do it, so when he did, well, it was utter joy all round. Number 3, the Yes Movement. I suppose this wouldn't happen today, such is the nature of the beast. The WWE audience has changed. This is certainly for the better, as now the fans are more in tune with the company, and that makes for a more positive experience. I like it. Back in 2013 and 2014, that wasn't the case though, so when WWE decided they weren't going to push Daniel Bryan, there was some serious backlash. Basically, the stupidly named WWE Universe didn't give a flub, more power to them, so just ensured the Yes Movement was front and center constantly. Even if he wasn't on screen, we are gonna make all the noise about it. To try and stop that, the powers that be turned Bryan heel, which was ridiculous, and they stuck him with the Wyatts. That lasted barely any time at all, because there was a full-on revolt, but it did give us this. Because when Daniel stripped off his overalls to reveal that he was not teaming with this cult, the fans lost it. Bryan then climbed the steel cage he had been confined to and did the Yes chant, and man, this was a moment and a half. Literally every single person was in unison. You rarely see things like this in wrestling because there's usually one guy, we've already talked about it, but not on this night. We had a common goal and we worked towards it. Just go and watch WrestleMania 30. Number 2, the best pop of all time. So we shall have to argue this forever, but I think en masse, most would agree, this is the one. There are a ton of Attitude Era pops that will change your life, but in early 1999, when Mankind was battling The Rock for the WWF title, Stone Cold Steve Austin came down to be the difference maker, and my gosh, when that glass hits, you won't believe it. It's not just the fact the fans react either, it's that they never calm down. If you look out into the crowd, you will see a new person every single time just jumping around the place. You've never seen so many humans this happy all at once. It then gets louder as they all realize he's here to screw The Rock and Vince McMahon. So when he blasts Rocky in the head and drags Mick Foley's body on the top for the 3, forget about it. History has been written. You need to go and see and hear this today if you never have, because it's like some sort of weird poetry. A little bit worried there will never be anything like it ever again. Number 1, Money in the Bank 2011. Let us end with a fun one though. CM Punk's peak in WWE the first time around. This was another moment that was captured in time because we had everything. Punk's WWE contract was expiring for real. Nobody knew what he was going to do. Money in the Bank was in Chicago. Was actually perfect. It also came off the back of his pipe bomb promo because, yeah, after some screwjob shenanigans, CM Punk whacked John Cena right in the face, knocked him out, and became the WWE champion. As we were playing this like he hadn't re-signed, he grabbed his title, kissed Vince goodbye, and he left. He then put the belt in the fridge. Why not? It's the Raw itself when he gets to the 3 that you have to listen to because it's part elation and part shock. Even if Punk was staying, nobody thought he would beat John because it's Super Cena. WWE would never let that happen, and then it did. If WWE had treated the fall outright, this could have changed the entire company, but we have talked about that many a time before. Let's just focus on the good stuff, and this was great. Know of any other great pops that we should be talking about all the time? Make sure you leave me a comment below before you like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And if you would like more crowd reaction nonsense, click that video on the screen right now. Otherwise, my friends, I just want to thank you for stopping by as always, and you take care of yourself, and I'll talk to you again very soon.